Welcome to the Lesbian Romantic Podcast. This is Waking Up is Easy, Part 22. I think this part of the story would have made a good musical. Usha, up at that window, speaking to the crowd. Yeah, it would have made an inspiring, goosebumps-worthy ballad. But instead, the movie portrayed it as some sort of, I don't know, it almost sounded like a political speech. And Usha is not a political person. That shouldn't surprise you if you've listened to this podcast for the last 20 plus episodes. No matter how much people try to pin her down, she will never let you do it. She will keep surprising you. I think I told you before, she still surprises me. She surprised me on that day too, of course. I wasn't as scared as I was made out to be by other people who were never actually there. But it is true that I would have never opened that window. Then again, what sane person would have? Not that I'm saying Usha is insane. Quite the opposite. Some days, I think she is one of the few sane people left on this planet. I aspire to be as sane as she is. It's not that easy in a world that believes it is rational and calculated, but is in fact, what to call this world we have created these days. It is too certain about too many things. I struggle to interact with this world. I know. That is weird coming from the lady with a podcast, right? And I'm even starting to imagine musicals and other ways people could have portrayed our story. Maybe this whole podcast business is rubbing off on me more than I thought. Remember, though, that I had been hiding from people and things most of my life. I had been holding so many things inside. And I've been hiding for quite some time from you as well. Especially after Usha's big speech. Not anymore, I guess. Not anymore. Case number A4752024. Report on riots after doxing Halifax. Officers Grand and Brock. Location, Cherry Blossom Apartments, Windfall. We arrived at the apartment where Usha, otherwise known as Jane Doe number 3, and Catherine Halifax had been hiding around 5:30 p.m. On our way there, we passed several people on foot and several cars. The radio informed us that more people and cars were coming up behind us. Once inside the building, we secured the front door by locking it from the inside before heading upstairs to warn all the inhabitants. We only found Catherine Halifax and Usha to be present at that time. It took some time and several knocks before they opened the door. Inside the apartment, the only thing we could do was wait for backup and instructions from our commanding officer. We were informed several patrol cars were now blocking the entrance to the building, but that they expected the crowd to become too large to manage soon. Evacuation was not an option at that time. We quickly explained the situation and cautioned Halifax and Usha to stay away from the windows. We informed them it was a rapidly developing situation with people traveling to our city from across the state and beyond, after the location was published on multiple websites. By that time, we could hear more people arriving near the building. We also heard the sirens of more police cars arriving. Catherine Halifax insisted on looking outside. Despite our advice, she recognized someone in the crowd, kept watching, and was then seen by the crowd. Once the crowd noticed Halifax, there was a loud reaction from the group that had gathered nearest the apartment building. This group now consisted of several types of protesters, we later heard from colleagues. Please check their separate reports for more information. About 10 minutes later, with more patrols having arrived, but the crowd now visibly and audibly not under control, the first fights started to take place. Again, please see the relevant report for more detailed information about the situation on the ground. About 2 minutes after the start of the fights, with the command to use some force when needed being given over the radio, audible for Usha and Halifax, Usha suddenly walked up to the window as well and opened it. This was too sudden for us to stop her, and she refused to step back. Dear people gathered here, I'd like to share something with you. I see so many people here who feel passionate about different things. I hear that some of you are here to find out what happened to me and the other patients at the coma center. I was in a coma, so I can't speak to what happened before I woke up. All I can tell you is that once I woke up, I was surrounded by loving people who wanted nothing more than to help me. I also see many people here who want to know what I know after waking up from a coma. I am humbled that you think I have something useful to say. You see, I was asleep, so I can't speak to what happened before I woke up. All I can tell you is that now that I am awake, I feel like I remember that there is so much more to all of you. Especially in the first hours and days after waking up, I felt like I could see through everything. This whole world, this whole planet. I saw how it all moved and flowed together, dancing toward beauty. In a way, I feel like all this beauty is already here, right now. We often just can't see it. We're too disconnected from what matters and too connected to everything that makes us lose sight. Please, I ask you, try to see what I got to see for a while. I know how hard it is. I am already struggling to remember what I saw, and it has only been a few days. I see you standing here today. Some of you hopeful or excited, others angry and disappointed. I admit it is hard for me not to get stuck by it. Both praise and hate are hard to see past. But this beauty really is here. We don't have to destroy anything to see it. We don't have to break down our reality. We don't have to say everything we believe is wrong. No. We just have to see through it. There are layers of experience, and we can stay stuck while focused on the things on the surface. Or we can sink into reality and discover the depths of our experience. Below the surface, everything flows. Everything blends. Everything breathes in and out. Everyone and everything changes all the time. Nothing is defined forever. Nothing is immortal. And yet, everything is there forever. As long as you let go of the lines and labels we use to cut out pieces of reality. This is this, that is that. This ends here, this dies. Except, does it? Oh, Oh, I wish you could see what I see, my friends. But I can't give you this wisdom. I can only point at it. That is all I have to give, and I wish I could give you more. But you have to discover all of this for yourselves. You have to see for yourselves. I don't have your answers. Not about life, and not about politics or experiments. No one here has the answers. No one at the coma center either. I am here to say, I think you have to live the questions. Stop listening to the people who make you feel angrier. Stop listening to the people who make you believe the answer is clear and certain. Try to tolerate questions, and slowly, you might start to see your answer. So please, step back now and let the police do their work. Stop yelling in anger. Stop hurting each other. And stop refusing to see each other's humanity. Please put the signs down. Go home. Thank you. Chapter 17. Usha's speech has gone into the history books. Perhaps not literally yet, but it certainly is engraved in the memory of many servers worldwide, and continues to go viral again and again to this day. Perhaps this book will contribute to her speech being recorded in offline history as well, because it really was an incredible speech, especially since she appears to have given it unplanned. She was inspired in the moment to address a roaring crowd on the brink of rioting. Who knows what would have happened had Usha not stepped in to share what she believed in that moment. In this chapter, I want to discuss the themes of the speech. You can find what I believe to be the full original transcript of what Usha said at the back of this book. I encourage you to read it again before you continue with this chapter. In her speech, Usha clearly uses repetition to make her point. She uses the verb to see the most and uses it both literally and figuratively. Usha asks of us not to just read between the lines, but to see through her words and reality to find a deeper meaning. Perhaps we should approach this daunting task by addressing the figure of speech I just used. To read between the lines, we assume our reality and time is a straight line. Several people who claim to have spoken to Usha have mentioned her interest and intense focus on spirals. What if we regard the repetition used by Usha not as lines or circles, but as a spiral? What if we can find new meaning in the same words every time we follow the spiral downward? Perhaps we then can indeed sink into the text and reality. Let's dive in. Usha says she doesn't know why she said what she said that day. It just occurred to her once she saw and heard that people were fighting. She flourished in that moment, and she did it effortlessly. She says that she would do the same again if she could. In the moment, it worked. Everyone was so perplexed by what she said that the fighting stopped long enough for the police to break everyone up. This was amazing in many ways. And it was also a little crazy. I think the situation has been over-romanticized, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to undermine Usha's courage and wisdom, or her efforts to speak loud enough to be heard by the crowd. But it's not like all the people in front of that building suddenly saw the light. Some did, and many others did once they saw her speech online. but most people there were just stunned long enough for the police to grab them. That's why the group disbanded soon after. Not because everyone suddenly believed in peace, nonviolence, or a better world. People didn't change on the spot, as some made it out to be. But Usha's speech did go viral instantly. There are so many versions of what she said that went viral. One had some incredibly dramatic music added under her voice. Another used a very Zen-like song with a pan flute. In essence, as soon as Usha finished speaking, her words were no longer her own. Personally, I struggle with that. Usha doesn't. She says she gave them freely and is happy that so many found some sort of inspiration in what she shared. Unfortunately, not everyone was as enamored with her new status as a world-famous guru. Especially not her high school boyfriend. Or girlfriend. This was part 22 of Waking Up is Easy. It's been almost a year since I tried to get back on my feet and get back to podcasting after becoming ill. And I'm not back to my old production frequency with the extras, but I have been able to get back to publishing a new episode every 2 weeks or so. I want to thank all the people who have supported me throughout this year, because I wasn't able to deliver what I promised, but you stuck around and you supported this podcast through a very difficult time. And now that I'm still not back to my old self, that is hard to accept at times. But I feel your support and your patience and your encouragement, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. The whole thank you from the bottom of my heart. I definitely keep, discovering new depths of in that phrase. So thank you. If you too want to help to keep this podcast going with a small gift every month, go to patreon.com/lesbianromantic and become a theater friend. Or you can go to my website, lesbianromantic.com/support, where you can support this podcast. Now, I have to say, I'm currently working on the website, and you might find a link to my poetry website there, which already has the new payment module. So it's a bit complicated right now, but if you find value in my work and you would like to help keep it going, please go to one of those websites, lesbianromantic.com/support, or you can also find me at deadbirdsinging.life, which also has a support page. Thank you so much for spending time with me again this episode, and I will see you as soon as I possibly can on Patreon, on the website, on Discord, where else? Yeah, that's about it. On Blue Sky. I'll see you there and here on this free feed in hopefully 2 weeks.